Welcome to Southern Heirlooms. I'm Ken Rivenbark. An heirloom is something of special value that is handed down from one generation to another. On today's show, we will talk about creating new heirlooms with children and assisting new couples as they begin the process of collecting and establishing heirlooms in their new life.
Welcome to Southern Heirlooms with Ken Rivenbark.
The answer to all your car buying questions.
Now in the hands of every salesperson at your North Alabama Honda dealer.
Saving you lots of time.
Folks love the Accord. How many to choose from?
48 today.
Pick your favorite color and trim level.
Best price?
$199 a month.
Compare it to a Camry.
Take a look.
Gas mileage?
Up to 36 miles per gallon.
That's one giant leap in car sales technology.
And it's only at your North Alabama Honda dealer. Huntsville, Decatur, and Florence.
Welcome to Southern Heirlooms. I'm Ken Rivenbark. On today's show, we're going to be talking about creating new heirlooms with your family. Whether it's for children, newly married couples, I think you'll find some great ideas that you'll be able to use in your everyday life. And I am proud to welcome to the show my sister, Candy Stevenson, and my beautiful goddaughter, Holland. Come on. Okay. So, we're going to talk about some baby things to start with, Candy. And why don't you start with the history on the cake knives?
Well, this is a tradition that I have started for my grandchildren. I began with doing one for her brother. We selected a silver pattern for him. Mm-hmm. We had it engraved, hand engraved with his birth date on one side. I gave it to him as a gift when he was born, and then every year we cut his birthday cake with it. And on his wedding, we will present it to he and his bride.
Such a fascinating
And we will
idea.
engrave his wedding date and her full name on the other side. And I've done one for Gavin. I've done one for baby Hunter. And as soon as Ken and I select Holland's silver pattern, she'll have one, and I'll give it to her on her first birthday, and she'll cut her birthday cake with
That's right.
it.
She's ready for it. She's ready. Another tradition is sterling goblets. Now, there's only 5 here because Holland already has one for her first Christmas. And I've selected a set of 6 to give her, so every birthday and Christmas, she'll be getting her sterling goblets till she has her set of 6. And of course, her mother has already asked, can she use them until Holland grows up? So of course she can. Another fascinating thing, I found this shortly after Holland was born. This is an early Sheffield gallery tray, and it just happens to have her monograms, HR, in it. So we thought this would be a nice wedding gift. So 2 weeks later, Holland had her tray.
He couldn't wait.
So what we decided to do, we used it for Easter for the first time. Of course, we're using it today for her TV debut. And we are keeping a record of every time this tray is used. On the back of this tray, what we'll do is after the first 5 years, I'll have it monogrammed in a column. And we want to have 4 columns that chronicles her first 20 years of life using this tray. So I think this is a great way to document a child's life.
And we're going to put her birthday cake on it.
Exactly.
On November the 7th, and it will be served on there, and then it will be cut with her new knife.
Exactly. Another tradition that families do, and these are sterling tumblers, and this mother has started adding the monograms of her children. She's dated them on the back, so by the time the 3 children are grown, each will have a set of sterling goblets. And, you know, everything doesn't have to be sterling. If sterling, a lot of people love sterling julep cups. They're very expensive these days. But whether you use pewter, silver plate, anything to collect that you can chronicle the child with and let him grow. Baby gifts are a great way to start traditions. This is one of Holland's sterling baby brushes. It has her full 3-letter monogram on it, and it's an heirloom that she'll be able to use and pass on to her children. And one more, since this is all about Holland, I wanted for her birthday, her first birthday, to give her her first antique. So I found this fabulous American hand-carved chair. It's from the early to middle 1700s. So she has already been sitting in it today. And what is neat about this, and this is again following the concept of the show of recording your family history. I have written a note to Holland, and we're going to have this taped under her chair. And I don't have my glasses with me. Yes, would you read that, please?
To my sweet goddaughter, I am so excited to present to you your first antique on the occasion of your first birthday. This chair is hand-carved and dates to the early to mid-1700s. Please do not ever paint it, as it holds its original finish. When you pass this chair on to your son or daughter, it will be over 250 years old. I love you, Uncle Ken.
I'd like to share with you another tradition, and Candy's going to help me with, and this is talking about this beautiful gown Holland is wearing.
This dress was made for Holland to wear home from the hospital, and I made it out of my mother's wedding night nightgown. So it is 63 years old, the fabric. It was a long silk gown of my mother's, and I took it and I cut it up to make this little gown for her, and I made the bonnet out of the bodice of the gown. So this is now a tradition that I hope her children will come home from the hospital in this gown, and that it will be preserved for years and years to come.
Another tradition that I want to share with you is Christmas ornaments. Now we have an array of sterling Christmas ornaments here. A few years ago, a lady came into my gallery buying ornaments, and she shared a story with me that I thought was fascinating. She'd been married 60 years, and since the very beginning of their marriage and their children, every Christmas she allowed the child, now the grandchildren and great-grandchildren, to select 2 ornaments off her Christmas tree. Any ornament they want, they could be cheap ones, expensive ones, it didn't matter. And this starts their collection of Christmas ornaments for them to use as they grow older. So these are just some small ideas of what you can do to start traditions with children. And children are energetic, and we love it, and we wouldn't change it one bit. So with that, I'm Ken Rivenbark, and we'll be right back.
To say you've worked too hard to let this economy jeopardize your future would be an understatement. While you don't have control over today's markets, you do have control over how well prepared you are for the future. That's where the Keene Group at UBS Financial Services Incorporated in Huntsville can help. Wealth Management Advisors Penny and Tom Keene will create a plan that can help you weather the uncertain markets while keeping you on track. Call or visit our website, the Keene Group at UBS Financial Services Incorporated in Huntsville. Member FINRA SIPC.
After 20 years, Artistic Images Gallery has now moved to the corner of Bob Wallace and L&N, next to R&R Antiques and Salon Catera. We still offer the expert framing and art gallery you've come to expect. Artistic Images Gallery.
On today's show, we're talking about creating new heirlooms. Many people come into my galleries and ask, how do I start collecting antiques? Perhaps it's a young professional couple looking to buy their first really fine piece of furniture. And I always suggest you start with an anchor piece. And by anchor, I mean a piece such as like a sideboard we have here for a dining room. Through the years, you can add antiques to that room and to create a room that maybe you see in your parents' or grandparents' home. So with that, let's talk a little bit about a style called Heppelwhite. Heppelwhite used a distinctive style of satinwood, walnut, and mahoganies to create wonderful creations. And I'm going to use this sideboard for an example. This sideboard was built or dates to the late 1700s. It has a very fine satinwood inlay around the tops, and it is fashioned with inlay shell and fans. In the corners, you see a quarter fan. What is interesting about these inlays is that Heppelwhite used hot sand to burn into the inlay wood to create the shadowing. Then the inlay was placed into the piece of furniture. So the marquetry, the craftsmanship of Heppelwhite still lives on today. Now, I've accessorized this sideboard with the Reed & Barton apron, and complete with the fresh flowers, and it's adorned with sterling candelabras on each side. So it's ready for any dining room. Now, I want to show you another special Hepplewhite sideboard. So follow me, please. Another example of a fine Hepplewhite sideboard is here before me. This sideboard dates to the early 1800s, and it is descended from an old Virginia estate. What is interesting about this sideboard is the top is solid mahogany, the depth is 26.5 inches thick, it is one solid piece of wood. It's quite incredible. Down below we have a flame mahogany veneers, original pulls to the sideboard, and the traditional legs and spade feet that we see so often with Hepplewhite. I love just the simple lines. There's no inlay here, so it's a different look of Hepplewhite that is really incredible. On top of this sideboard, I have a beautiful pair of matching George III mahogany knife boxes. What is unusual about these knife boxes is they are completely fitted. Rarely do you find a pair of this age with the fittings these days. Families would keep their silver flatware here, and when they weren't using it, they would simply lock it up. It'd probably be displayed something like it is here, and I've accented this with silver candelabra apron, beautiful fresh flowers, ready for a beautiful dining room. What items do newly married couples need to start their silver collection? Find out when we return.
Brooks & Collier welcomes you to their end-of-season savings on outdoor furniture. Thanks, guys, but you and I know full well that with the cooler weather, the season's just begun. Lottie and I think alike. Outdoor fashions, big green eggs, green fun. Brooks & Collier.
Rivenbark & Roper Antiques began serving customers June 2006 and is regarded as Huntsville's finest antique gallery. The shop represents high-quality antiques from the 18th to the early 20th centuries, the largest collection of silver in North Alabama, Chinese and Japanese export porcelains, and original art from around the world. From day one, the business has focused on three principles that have established the essence of Rivenbark & Roper Antiques. They take great pride in providing their clients with the highest quality merchandise at the lowest prices possible, offering hospitality and personal service to build a relationship of trust, and to celebrate with customers the joy of bringing beauty, style, and elegance to their homes. Rivenbark & Roper Antiques has gained the reputation of offering a high-quality product with extensive personal service. The shop has lived by the strict policy of not selling reproduction furniture and abiding by the original guidelines of not selling furniture newer than 1940. Their strengths are reflected in their dedicated customers. Customers know that when they engage in business with Rivenbark & Roper, they can count on truth, knowledgeable information, and customer dedication.
Silver is a classic and Southern tradition that has been prized and passed down for generations. Many new couples become overwhelmed as they are confronted with the idea of using classic silver pieces with modern department store wares. Today I want to talk about pieces that are considered to be a staple to any silver collection. Let's start with silver trays. Large trays, such as this 24-inch Ellis Barker tray, can hold a coffee service, be utilized to serve hors d'oeuvres, or simply used to hold collections of your choice. I also have displayed two Sheffield Gallery serving trays that can dress up any food table during your holiday celebration. There are two smaller square trays that are classic in looks and can be utilized to hold other silver items like the silver water goblets and julep cups as displayed. In addition, this size is perfect to place a serving bowl in the center, flanked with chips, crackers, or baguette bread. The fluted punch bowl in the center is medium in size. It can be used to serve warm or cold beverages. It could be a chiller for wine simply by packing it with ice. If you use it for this cause, make sure you put a silver tray underneath to protect your furniture. The punch bowl can be used to serve food such as salad, chicken, or shrimp. I would suggest using a plastic liner with food, especially shrimp. You may not know this, but shrimp has iodine that will corrode silver. Bread trays come in various shapes and sizes. They can be used for bread for the dinner table, cheese straws for a cocktail party, or even forks for a buffet. Next, I have a beautiful silver oblong serving tray. This tray is approximately 22 inches long. I've paired it with a martini glass and pitcher set from the 1950s. This tray can dress up any modern cocktail wares also, including outdoor and poolside plastic tumblers. A silver water pitcher or two is one of the most utilized items in silver collections. It can be used to serve water, tea, lemonade, or utilized on a bar. Most traditional Southern classic homes set a formal dinner table with silver water goblets. While your mother or grandmother may use their prized sterling goblets, starting out, silver-plated goblets such as these will give you the same look. In addition, you could buy a set of 6 plated goblets for less than the price of 1 sterling goblet. The same goes for silver julep cups. Silver plate or pewter, such as this set, adds a touch of style to your special events. Next, I'd like to show you a couple cocktail shakers. This cocktail shaker is circa 1920. It is a hammered silver with a monogram. Monograms are very popular again, and it's a great way to personalize your items. In addition, I've added a modern penguin-shaped cocktail shaker that is fun and adds flair to your event. Silver wine coolers are great for their intended purpose, as well as using them as a centerpiece with a lovely flower arrangement. Silver wine caddies, such as this Ellis Barker one with the wood insert, will protect your furniture and add a polished look to your table. The tall wine caddy will do the same, but can be used to serve breadsticks, utensils for the buffet, or by adding a simple water glass, a beautiful vase of flowers. I have a place setting of Kurt Repoussé sterling flatware on the table. Whatever pattern you have selected, start using it. Even if it's just for a special dinner with you and your spouse, you don't have to wait till you have a set of 8. If you have 2 dinner forks, 2 knives, have a special dinner. Silver candlesticks will add an elegant touch to your dinner table or sideboard. These silver plated candlesticks are an affordable alternative to their sterling counterpart. The last item I want to share that is a staple for your silver collection is a chafing dish. The multi-piece set will hold hot water and keep your food warm during your special event, but always use a tray underneath to protect your furniture from being scratched. Now I'd like to share some helpful hints in taking care and preserving your silver. First, always wash your silver in warm soapy water before and after using. Do not use sterling utensils to serve eggs. This sounds funny, but the sulfur in eggs will damage the finish of your sterling. Never wrap your sterling in saran wrap for storage. The chemicals in saran wrap react negatively to silver and can cause damage. In closing, take your silver out of your closet and use it. You cannot make family memories with your silver stored away. If your children grow up seeing you use these items for their special occasions, not only will they want them in the future, they will want to use them with their children. Then take a moment to document special dinners, events, and notate the items used. Your children will thank you in the future. I'm Ken Rivenbark, and we'll be right back.
Established in 1978, Randy Roper Interiors is the premier interior design firm for residential and commercial projects. The goal at Randy Roper Interiors is to work with each client to create a beautiful, warm, and comfortable space that reflects your individual tastes. Randy Roper Interiors offers one of the largest resource design libraries in Alabama and is located at 311 North Jefferson Street in downtown Huntsville. Randy Roper Interiors, where experience matters. Richards Lighting has been proudly serving the people of Huntsville and the Tennessee Valley since 1963. Our showroom is home to the largest display of residential lighting in the state of Alabama and features items from over 100 of the finest manufacturers from around the world. Whatever your style, crystal or contemporary, wrought iron or rustic, traditional or transitional, Richards Lighting can help your home come alive. Whether looking for the one perfect fixture or lighting your entire home, the highly experienced staff at Richards is here to serve you. Richards Lighting, come imagine the possibilities.
Welcome back to Southern Heirlooms. I'm joined again by Candy Stevenson, and we want to have a little conversation to follow up today's show. We've been talking about creating new heirlooms with families. Candy, so many times I have people come into my gallery, older folks who are starting to downsize, and they have incredible things, and their concern is, my children don't want my items. What do I do? Some of the things that I've suggested to them is to take a silver tray or a pair of goblets and write a little note and personalize it. Your dad and I use these goblets on our first anniversary. Or a certain, we serve your birthday cake on this silver tray. Write a little note to the person, tape it to the back. What it does is it attaches you to the object. As my father's getting older, it's not so important about stuff, it's important to have things to hold on to for them. And to be very realistic, we're not going to be able to keep all of the things that we have in our families. Some's going to get passed on to antique stores, to different places. But I always say that an heirloom or an antique is only ours to borrow. It's ours to borrow, to be stewards of, to take care of while we have it, because we know it's going to be passed on to someone else down the road. Let's flip the coin just a bit and talk about the 20 to 40-year-old generation. Many times they're going through a phase, and some people say it skips a generation, or they're not interested in silver or porcelain. What are some suggestions we can help them with?
Well, I happen to have two children that fit right into that age bracket. And I will say with Brooke, my oldest daughter, who is now 38 and the mother of your goddaughter, she was not as interested in silver when she got married, but when she had a child, and actually I think it may have been the knife that I gave him, the birthday silver knife that I gave him, that really made her realize that it's not just stuff and it's not just a piece of silver, but it's a memory. We're creating memories here that when he uses this knife down the road, he will always remember the happy times that he spent with his mother, even hopefully long after she's gone. Exactly. And then his children will remember him. Exactly. And so things become not just things, but they become the carriers of memories.
Exactly. And I think, and I don't want to sound too preachy, but I am it sounds a little school teacherish here, but for the younger generation, please keep in mind when you say, well, I don't like this, it's not my style. Once it's gone, it's gone. So, and remember, when your parents see themselves as attached to these items they're trying to share with you. So be polite. Even if you don't think you'll use it, take it, put a little note on it, put it away. Maybe your child or grandchild would want it, but try to have a medium road. And I love, everything doesn't have to be new. Everything doesn't have to be bought from one of the modern stores today. You can take antique items or vintage items from the 50s, mix them in, and have a beautiful home. So, anything?
Well, I just want to say thank goodness that some people have parted with things that they just know they can't use everything that's given to them, because then you have them, and people like me can go and get them and start new traditions, like you're doing silver cups for Holland. You know, it's never too late to start a tradition. You can start a tradition now. It doesn't have to be something you've inherited. It has to start somewhere. So exactly. I can start it for my children and their children.
And keep in mind, it's not just children. Newly married couples, start your own traditions, start your own heirlooms, and let's keep this going through the generations. We'll be right back.
Salon Catera is the place where style meets care and individual attention. At Salon Catera, we know that people may forget what you said, may forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Salon Catera, a natural formation of complete beauty.
The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. Wise advice from a Chinese proverb. Or was it Lottie? Brooks & Collier has a world of trees, as well as a fresh shipment of exotic plants, fall mums, and pansies. Brooks & Collier.
It's been a pleasure sharing ideas with you today on creating new family heirlooms. I'd like to close by sharing a personal heirloom of mine that I've recently been given. This is the Rivenbark Family Bible. This Bible was given to my grandmother in 1926. My father recently gave this to me, and I can assure you it will always be treasured. With a heart full of gratitude, I'm Ken Rivenbark.
Rivenbark & Roper Antiques began serving customers June 2006 and is regarded as Huntsville's finest antique gallery. The shop represents high-quality antiques from the 18th to the early 20th centuries, the largest collection of silver in North Alabama, Chinese and Japanese export porcelains, and original art from around the world. From day one, the business has focused on three principles that have established the essence of Rivenbark & Roper Antiques. They take great pride in providing their clients with the highest quality merchandise at the lowest prices possible, offering hospitality and personal service to build a relationship of trust, and to celebrate with customers the joy of bringing beauty, style, and elegance to their homes. Rivenbark & Roper Antiques has gained the reputation of offering a high-quality product with extensive personal service. The shop has lived by the strict policy of not selling reproduction furniture and abiding by the original guidelines of not selling furniture newer than 1940. Their strengths are reflected in their dedicated customers. Customers know that when they engage in business with Rivenbark & Roper, they can count on truth, knowledgeable information, and customer dedication.